In solemn remembrance, the citizens of Edelbrock in the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg recall the day of their liberation. At St. Sebastian's Church, they pay tribute to the American soldiers of the Third Army and to the man who led them, the late General George S. Patton, Jr. Luxembourg and U.S. dignitaries arrive at the church to honor the 5,000 Americans who died in Luxembourg during World War II. General Patton's son, Major George S. Patton III, and other high-ranking officials stand in silent respect during the commemorative Mass. Later, an estimated 50,000 persons line the roads leading to the Patton Memorial, which was dedicated in 1954. Representing his country at the monument is Prince Felix of Luxembourg. Other dignitaries wait as a wreath is placed by members of the Luxembourg delegation. A bronze plaque dedicated last year by Major Patton depicts the Third Army's advance into Luxembourg. Officials leave to return to Edelbrock, but many citizens stay on to pay silent tribute on this, the 14th anniversary of their liberation. Recently, the town of Schramberg, Germany, located in the Black Forest region, was struck by flash floods after a heavy thunderstorm. When the waters had receded, Schramberg was clogged with mud, uprooted trees, and rocks. The 7th Army was asked if equipment could be provided to help clear away the heavier debris. Men and equipment of the 78th Engineer Battalion and the 535th Engineer Company are assigned the task. The problem becomes a matter of teamwork as German Army engineers work along with their American counterparts. It is not only a job of cleaning up, but also of rebuilding as German soldiers work to reconstruct the washed-out bridge. The 78th Battalion bulldozers supply the power needed to wage this battle against one of nature's most devastating weapons. After the worst flood in 30 years, Army engineers have helped put Schramberg back on its feet. At Debrecen Air Base near Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, pilots of the Ethiopian Air Force are being trained by American Air Force personnel to take their place in the jet age. Before flying jets, however, the pilots are given a thorough physical examination under rigid American standards. Then it's off to classes to study the latest advancements in air power. The students are given many hours of classroom theory by instructors on temporary duty here from Chanute Air Base, Illinois. All the classes are conducted in English, which is the secondary language of this progressive country in the Middle East. After months of instruction, the Ethiopian airmen are ready to put theory into practice. There is a final briefing on the flight line with the pilots and their T-33 jet trainers recently given to Ethiopia through MAG, the Military Assistance Advisory Group. The sleek, powerful aircraft move out onto the runway and into takeoff position. newly trained pilots apply a skyward thrust of power as the jet age comes to Ethiopia. 24 men of the 505th Airborne Infantry Regiment, now stationed in Mainz, Germany, prepare for a symbolic reenactment of their pre-dawn D-Day jump into France. 16 of these men jumping today made the original invasion leap into Normandy 15 years ago, when the 505th was part of the 82nd Airborne Division. Recreating that historic day, the American paratroopers float down into the same Normandy fields and hedgerows. They land near Sainte-Mère-Église, the first French community to be liberated by U.S. forces in 1944. As the soldiers march into town, they are greeted by applause and cheers instead of murderous enemy gunfire. Speaking at ceremonies in the town square is retired Lieutenant General James M. Gavin, wartime commander of the 82nd Airborne Division. Thousands watch as the officers and men of the 505th dedicate and present an oil painting to the village, a symbol of freedom for Sainte-Mère-Église from its friends of the 505th. German and American guests test their luck on the Wheel of Fortune, and some folks get to take home a prize turkey as the Heidelberg Rod and Gun Club sponsors its second annual Schützenfest. There's plenty of food, and eating is as much a part of the fun as any other pastime on the Midway. Here's a chance to relax, grab a bite to eat, or just watch the fun. Of course, a Schützenfest is a shooting festival. From bows and arrows to precision rifles, marksmen fire away with their favorite weapons. Guns are interesting, but the girls have their chance armed with a more familiar weapon, namely the rolling pin. What an arm! On the firing range, this kind of sport is a lot of fun, just as long as husband isn't on the receiving end. And for the kids, a bubblegum blowing contest. With ammunition loaded into the breech, the match begins. Here's a lad who's going to stick to the end. After a bang-up day, everyone agrees there's nothing quite like a Schützenfest. The annual Kaiserslautern Post Golf Tournament, with competition in both open and senior divisions, gets underway at the Woodlawn Golf Club, Ramstein, Germany. Kaiserslautern Post Commander Colonel Blair A. Ford tees off, and the 54-hole medal play competition begins. Winners here will meet other top golfers at the NACOM tournament. Every putt counts, but Captain G.W. Scott falls a little short. Then finishes off the hole nicely for a par 4. Bob Fiore tries a long shot, and it just misses. Goodbye, par. John Garrett blasts out of the sand with a minimum of effort. It's time for a final scorecard check as the players approach the 18th hole. And the last ball drops in, completing 54 holes of tournament golf. It's time for Colonel Ford to present the trophies, and John Garrett takes first place in the open division. Senior division second place goes to Captain G.W. Scott. The final award, first place in the senior division, goes to Colonel Ford. Next stop, the NACOM Finals.